You're on the party line with Sara and Christy. This is I'm on the Phone podcast, where we're healing out loud, swapping cult stories, and laughing at the mess along the way. So grab your coffee, a bestie, settle in, and let's talk.
So we watched Frailty together in a very unconventional way the other day.
We couldn't figure out the stupid screen.
Oh, nothing was working for us. It was just a bad tech day for us.
Yeah,
and whatever. Generally speaking, like we don't do too bad, like even though we're in our 40s, right? Well, it hated us that day, so it was actually quite hilarious. I had my phone stand that I'm using now, which does raise up quite a bit higher, stood in front of my giant TV, so she can watch it from the phone.
It wasn't bad. Like it was.
I mean,
I could hear it fine, and I see it pretty clearly. So,
okay,
yeah, it worked.
It was just really funny. I've never done that before. So we got to film our real-time reactions like as soon as the movie was over. In true Sara and Christy fashion, our thoughts jump all over the place pretty quickly, and we don't explain things very well all the time. So, questions are welcome because
yes,
we struggle with that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Still like sitting in my mind, just the whole movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we give a very good like overview of the plot. I'll just try to give one really quick and stay on track. Basically, it's a movie about two brothers and their dad. They lost their mother at the birth of the youngest son, and their dad is awakened in the middle of the night with a vision from God that he has a mission to now go kill demons, and the world is filled with demons. And he's going to reveal to him who these demons are and give them the weapons to defeat them. Mm-hmm. And he wakes up in the middle of the night after this vision and goes immediately and tells his young boys. They would have been probably, 7 and 12, something like that, or 13. Yeah. The oldest brother really kind of sees through it and questions it. It's very scared of everything because the demons are people.
Yes.
They're people.
Living human beings.
And yeah. And one of the things that happens is when their dad like lays his hand on them, like he kind of reacts and like sees these visions of all the evil that these people have done. Mm-hmm. And so the story is basically this brother comes to an FBI agent to tell him the story because this has now been happening for several years now. The dad has passed, and he is telling him who this God's hand killer is and is leading him to catch him. And of course, the hook for the FBI agent is that, he admits that the God's hand killer is his brother. And he is telling, as he's talking to the agent, he is retelling the story of his childhood and what brought them to this point. And that's basically the plot of the movie. You will now get to see us in our very real selves.
Very real.
Not that we're not real right now, but we were very comfortable. We had our coffee, and I had my crochet. You were, I think, working on some stuff as well.
Yeah, I was typing.
You were like at least had like regular clothes on. I'm still like in my robe. No makeup, like nothing. Like we're just hanging out in the living room on an average day. So you all can feel free to go get your coffee, get cozy, and join us for our real-time reaction of Frailty.
Holy cow. That was quite the movie. I
Mhm.
love Matthew McConaughey. He's amazing.
Yes.
It's not his normal role that I would see him in,
Right.
but he was I mean it's an old movie, which is so funny because it's like 2001. You can
It's
tell.
actually super low budget.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can it was I think it sort of added to like the eeriness of it that it was older for me. I kind of like
They knew how to do it back then.
yeah, yeah, it was just like that suspense and they got that right for sure. And I think it
Mhm.
would have even been better if I had been like sitting in the living room with you.
Of course.
It would have been 10 times better, like the full effect. But I mean, what do you do when you're this far away?
Right. We don't
Uh,
have any options right now.
I mean, these are spoiler alerts, correct? So if you haven't seen
Well, I
Frailty,
mean, it came out in 2001. So you've had 24 years to watch it.
yes,
Um,
if you've not
you've
seen
also had
Frailty,
a
but
week since we said we were going to talk about it.
true,
So
true.
we are going to be full details, and I don't know how a 24-year-old movie can have spoilers. So,
Yeah, if
I
you've
mean,
not seen
obviously,
it,
I
then
had not seen it, and of course, I didn't want to spoil it for her. But now that we said last week we're going to watch this and we are going to discuss it this week, we're not going to hold back.
yeah, absolutely. So, it was very triggering. I mean, from the first part, it was the song.
Mhm.
I've got the joy, joy, joy. We all
Down in my heart.
cyber fundamentalist down in my heart,
Where?
down in my heart.
Where?
I mean, my kids were even remember that song and singing it, and it was just such a fan favorite in church.
Same.
Um, so when I heard that, I was just like, "What? Wait, this is hard." And then,
Yeah.
of course, when the father started in with his dreams and his hullabaloo, I was sort of like, "Oh crap, here we go,"
Right.
because I sort of feel like that there's, I don't know, maybe you can tell me what you think about this. I sort of feel like that there is a truth to what some people think God calls them to do, not to the extent of what this guy did or that it has any reality to it in real life, but they feel like that they hear from God about other people's sins. I mean,
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit.
we have. I remember, yeah,
Like, I know someone who legitimately claims to have heard from God about other people's sins, and he was led to call them out.
I think I know of two.
If I said his name, you would know him.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to cut it out.
Okay. I did not know that.
That is the pastor I was discussing.
I didn't know he thought that. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Okay. Well, when I was a kid, there were two pastors that I was scared to death. Well, they were evangelists. They traveled around. And so when
He
they
was
would
both.
come to, yeah, he was. When they would come, and he was very influential in the younger generation, like
Very.
younger generation, like children.
Yep.
Which is triggering in and of itself. So there were two preachers that I was scared to death because they just proclaimed that they knew people's sins. And actually, there was a couple of people that they got it right on.
A couple out of how many?
Yeah, exactly. Well, a couple that came forward and said that they had gotten it right, and it scared them enough to, like give their heart to Jesus and all that, because that's the way God leads, is through fear and
right. Well, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. I have never heard that expression. That's awesome.
What?
I've never heard that
Oh my
expression.
gosh.
That's hilarious. Sorry if you can hear my son's
It's okay.
back. But
This is
Sarah,
our real-time reaction.
yeah. Oh, this is me every day. Crazy. Anyway, so it reminded me of those preachers, that were just like, I know your sin and all of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
And even laying on of hands, like him laying on of hands. It was just everything, Sarah. It was like every tiny little detail I grabbed onto because that's the world that we come from. And
Right.
it even magnified the cult fact in my mind. Like
Oh yeah.
the whole fact that that where we have come out of, what we have come out of is so,
It's a cult. Full on.
just crazy.
Full on.
Crazy. Well, towards the end of the movie, when they were actually showing the sins of the people that his dad had seen, and that the little boy had seen while his dad, so the little boy had been given the gift.
Well, I don't think he saw them like his dad did, but he saw that his dad was physically reacting to seeing them. The initial opening of the movie is like, these two brothers just like getting home from school, like in the 70s, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was just very classic 70s family. Their mom had passed during the birth of the youngest brother, and so it was just the dad and his two sons.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was normal. He was just like a mechanic. They went to school, like just very normal. But they were like religious, apparently, because they had come home from school, like, and the little brother was trying to sing Sunday school songs, and the older brother wasn't having it. Like he participated unwillingly, probably just to appease his little brother. Like he was a good kid. On the first watch, I just thought it was really interesting that the oldest brother was always playing. Well, he filled the role of his mother, of their mother.
Right. Yeah. He took care of his younger brother.
Yes. So he took care of his younger brother. Not only that, he cooked, he cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was not allowed to be a child anymore.
Right. He was,
and the younger brother was.
Mm-hmm.
The baby got babied.
Right.
But I thought it was weird the way his dad greeted him when he got home, because it was the same greeting you would have given your wife.
Who, the older child or the younger child?
The older child, because he was
cooking. I didn't catch that. I'll probably go back and watch it later and just see like that's interesting. I didn't catch that.
Because I mean, it was a rather benign statement, but they worked together like a man and wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who saw through the bullshit, basically.
Right.
And was gaslit.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, he wasn't believed.
Yeah.
And he was, like, belittled and punished for calling that out. Yeah, by the dad. He was belittled and punished. And, of course, his little brother is, like, kind of the in-between. He's trying to, like, please his dad and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find it interesting because, like, so the oldest brother, he comes in, he's playing the role of a parent who's missing, or not missing, but like gone. Like, so there's a lot of grief already in this family, right?
Right.
I mean, because his brother was only 7 or 8, maybe.
Yeah.
It actually said it in the movie that he was like 3 years younger or 4 years younger. I can't remember which, but so he would have been 11 or 12.
Yeah. Okay.
And doing taking on the responsibilities at home that his mom would have done. Mm-hmm. Especially with like kitchen duty and cooking and all that.
Yeah.
And he was the one who saw the psychoticness of his dad's vision and what he said God was asking him to do.
Yeah.
There's so much twistedness in this whole thing.
There is. There is.
Oh my goodness. But like throughout the movie, this character, he sees through it. He thinks it's wrong. Like what his dad is doing is wrong. And eventually like kills his father because the sheriff doesn't believe him. And his dad killed the sheriff to protect the mission. So his dad, I mean, even went against his own beliefs.
Yeah. To like he committed sin in order to.
Yeah, so like two wrongs don't make a right.
Right. And to protect, yeah. And then, but what he said when he did kill the sheriff was it's the first man he'd ever killed.
Yeah.
And he'd killed several people, but he calls all those people demons.
Right.
They're on
like because they're evil, then that means it's okay to kill them, and that makes them not human.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they were humans or they were demons walking around in human bodies or something like that. Like they were.
Well, and ultimately it was what they had done that made them evil. So there's a lot of like cognitive dissonance happening.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like these two things cannot be true at the same time.
Well, oh yeah. Yeah.
The entire point of this movie is that it's all cognitive dissonance. It's saying that two opposing ideas are true.
Yeah.
And that's just impossible.
Yeah. Even when he was calling he said God had told him that his son was a demon.
Yeah.
His son hadn't done anything wrong.
Refused to believe it.
He just refused to believe it. But as far as like really being evil, like the other people, like the sins of the other people, there was nothing like that in his life.
He wasn't old enough to have done anything like that.
He wasn't old enough. And the only thing that he did that would maybe say that he was a demon would be killed his father, and he hadn't even done that yet. So it's really.
Well, but he said he was a demon, and the problem was that he didn't have faith and he didn't believe.
Oh, that's why he was a demon.
Because he didn't have faith or believe in this mission, supposedly. That sorry, I'm going to take these off. This psychotic dad was having.
So at the beginning of the movie, it is the younger brother calling the older brother him that it was time he needed to take him to the rose garden.
Which could have been a lie. He was just saying that because that whole story he was telling to the FBI agent was a lure. It was the truth, partially.
Yeah.
I mean, the part that was not truth was who he was.
Right. So he came in acting like the older brother, but really you find out at the end of the movie that it was the younger brother talking the whole time.
Yes.
Who believed his dad the whole time.
Yes.
And he was carrying on the mission.
Uh-huh.
And the sheriff was next on the list. The FBI agent was next on the list.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how at the end, when he's like revealed himself as Adam, who is, it's funny, his brother is called the God's Hand Killer, and yet he literally believes that he is the hand of God.
Yes.
But his brother is actually psychotic. Of course. Yeah. I mean, you expose your children to literal, like, murder and violence and make them participate.
Yeah.
Or watch I mean, anyone with half a brain will tell you that that is going to traumatize you and cause you some serious psychological issues.
Right.
Period.
Yep. So they were both messed up.
Yeah.
I mean,
now and throw in on top of that, this guy is saying that the reason why he's doing it is because God told him to.
Mm-hmm.
As if that somehow makes exposing children to that level of violence makes it okay.
Yeah.
And you have one child who is obviously seeing this is wrong. You've got to like something's like, have you considered that you're crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. The older brother is like calling it out. This is not real. This is, maybe
like you're making stuff up. Like you
told
need
his dad,
help.
maybe you need to talk to somebody.
Yes. Like this is not normal.
Again, trying to be the adult.
He's like, these aren't demons. They're people.
Yeah.
And then you have baby brother who's watching it all and is people pleasing both parties.
Yeah.
Like people pleasing his dad. Oh yes, dad, I believe you. I see. And apparently legitimate in this story he does. Yeah. But he also sees his brother's side who says this is absolutely crazy. But he loves his brother and he loves his dad. And so he's trying to make them both happy. And he's only like 6 or 7. And
yeah,
like, how does a 6 or 7-year-old make sense of any of that?
Right.
Because that's totally going to shape your neurological development. Yeah. That killing people is okay if they're evil or if you believe that they're evil.
And how like when you get used to something like that, and I know that it's not a real movie and it's definitely
right.
How do you start to distinguish, if you just don't like somebody or if they just do something and they're not
well, and that's what he did at first.
Then
in his childishness at the beginning, he made his own list of people like that kid who was bullying him. And his dad's like, now, son, that's not right. We don't do that.
Right.
God will give you a list when you're older.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, you can't discern.
Because he wanted so bad to be like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he wanted to take out revenge, and apparently murder is okay. So let's take out my bully, let's kill this other kid. But he's so sweet and innocent looking. It doesn't sound like a big deal.
He is.
He's like such a cute little kid.
He really is.
Yeah, he's super adorable. He compares his dad to Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And like God didn't give his dad as much mercy as he did Abraham.
Yeah. So he asked Abraham to kill Isaac. And Abraham went to do it, and he had mercy on Abraham, not Isaac, but he had mercy
because
on Abraham. But his dad didn't obey God in killing his own son, who was apparently...
Well, God rescued him from having to kill his son. Okay, and I'm sorry, but that story I think is so psychotic.
About Abraham?
I mean,
I don't believe it the way it was.
I mean, I don't know how another way to take it, except that it's like where it's not a true story, but it's a story to teach a lesson. But even then, I'm like, that's the worst possible way to teach.
Yeah, I do think something happened up there on the mountain. Mm-hmm. But I don't, and I think that there was a lesson that was learned for sure.
Well, okay. One of the things with that story is that it's like, what do you call a foreshadowing of Christ's crucifixion. Mm-hmm. And he is the lamb. And so it's like an allegory. Is it an allegory? I think.
Yeah.
But when you don't teach it as an allegory, in the fundamentalist world, everything is taught as literal. The Bible is only literal. There's not
literal when they want it to be. Like it only applies. It's not even that they can take it all in context, Sarah, because it's been translated and translated again and translated again and translate. After that many translations, when the languages really don't cross over.
I don't know that story is mistranslated, but it's misunderstood, maybe.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't make sense to me to give someone an allegory of your God telling you to kill your child, and you just blindly trust that this God wants you to kill your child, which is ironic given the journey of the Israelites, all, through escaping from Egypt and coming into their land, and, having to go through all these different lands and through people groups and cultures, and killing entire people groups because of the God they worshipped, who required them to sacrifice their children.
Yeah.
When that's literally what supposedly their God told Abraham to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the last minute, he's like, oh, psych, here's a ram. You can switch it up. Even though he literally has like his kid completely tied up on an altar with a knife over his body. Mm-hmm. And tell me that's not tell me that doesn't mess a kid up.
Yeah. Well, and I know that like the time that they lived and today is totally different. And there could have been, like,
I don't know.
Icing.
I mean, it's not literally the same as in we don't really hear so much of child sacrifice. I'm not saying it doesn't exist anywhere, because I can't say that with 100% knowledge. But we have people who will pray for God to take their children, like as in cause their death, as soon as they get saved. So there's no chance that they'll miss heaven.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Because they're out living in sin.
They're afraid they're going to go back to their sin, and then they're going to miss.
And they're afraid that if when they get saved, if they don't die soon, that they'll go back.
Which I'm sorry, but how is that not living as a mom in complete and total fear? Like, that is just the biggest, like, suffocating fear. I remember when I was expecting my first, and my husband sat me down about 8 months, when I was 8 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very morbid feeling, I just didn't feel good about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I have thought about my reaction over this for a long time, actually. But he sat me down and he said, he took my hand. We're sitting on the couch. He took my hand. He said, I really feel like that we need to have prayer and give our child to the Lord. And I was like, okay. And I started to cry, like sorrowful tears.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, he was scaring me. Like, yeah. I was immediately afraid. For another, looking back, God was not a safe person for me to hand my child to.
No.
And I hope that the listeners will understand that that was my perception of God. Now, I know that you and I are both on a journey, and I feel like we're not in the same place really as each other at all. But
no.
it doesn't matter either way.
No.
But for me, I do believe in God, but I do not believe in the same God as a hyperfundamentalist
Oh, absolutely not.
at all. And so it was just devastating to me to try to, and I didn't realize that. And all I could communicate in my mind, or could translate in my mind, figure out in my mind, was that I was being selfish for not wanting to hand my daughter or my child over to God. But in hindsight, I was scared to death because he was not a safe person. And I felt like that
Right.
my mother instinct was trying to protect my child. And here it is, my husband, who is telling me to that we need to basically dedicate our daughter, which we did have a service dedicating her to God.
We all did.
But I'm talking about, like, we're in the living room and I'm
so different.
hyper emotional, getting ready to have this baby, and I've already been having issues about going to the hospital and having a baby for the very first time. I'm already in pain. My anxiety of going through this is already, at its peak, I feel like. And it is just like, I am over, I'm exhausted.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
As you're talking about it, I
And
can
here
feel
I
that.
am. Yeah. He stops me right in the middle of making dinner and has me come and sit on the couch. I don't know how we got here today, but has me come and sit on the couch and tells me this. And immediately, immediately I start to panic.
Well, yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, well, so I had to sit there and pray with him to dedicate our daughter to the Lord. For a long time, I thought, why did I have that reaction? But that's the reason. God was not a safe person to me, and he never was.
No, I mean, our whole
explains, like, the way that I saw God in other people was not somebody I wanted to know.
No.
At all.
Okay, well, think about this. The God that we were taught the God of the Old Testament for over 40 years. Over 40 freaking years. Was a narcissistic abuser.
Yep.
It did not, your autonomy never mattered. What you liked didn't matter. In fact, if you went after something you liked, that was selfish and prideful. And I do mean from the simplest things to big things, like your career, who you married. You were literally taught to ignore every normal, healthy human response to danger.
Yeah.
Like you were just taught to ignore every red flag. All in the name of this God. Because you had, everything was about sacrifice. Like what made us holy, or that showed that we were humble and weren't full of pride, was that we sacrificed all these good and important things, like our children.
Yeah.
We sacrificed financially, big time.
Yeah.
I remember these preacher boys talking about oh, someone invited me, or I was asked to come be a pastor at the church, but man, it was a really big church and it paid a lot of money. And I just knew that my pridefulness just couldn't handle that. And so I needed to not go there.
I hate that. Yeah. I've heard stuff like that.
I've heard that so many times.
So stupid. Don't take care of my family. It has no inflation doesn't matter.
These pastors,
we have to struggle.
Yeah, these pastors who go to churches just to keep the doors open because God forbid a door like church closed because there's only 5 people who go there, even though there's another church like 5 miles down the road that they could go to, but they can't get along. So we can't do this, but we got to keep those church doors open. So we have a pastor and his family come to this church. Yeah. Who basically don't get paid.
Yeah.
Who have to work another job. But all their spare time is for these 20 people or less, depending on, it could be 5 families or 20 people or whatever. But all their spare time is given to all these people that are not their family. And they spend no time with their actual family.
Yep.
And then wonder, and this is like literally what I watched growing up. These pastors would spend all their time and energy on everyone else but their own family. And then like their kids are disasters today. And if they're not still a disaster, they have gone through so much trauma and they have caused them, oh God, they have just caused them to have such a much harder life. And they're now having to be in rehab. Some are in jail. Some have died from drug overdoses. They're divorced. Their families are a wreck.
Yeah.
Because their home was not healthy, period.
No, it was not a stable environment.
It was not.
They didn't have the support system. They didn't have their parents' ear. They didn't have, more specifically, they didn't have their father's ear. And this is one of the things that makes me the most upset is that as, family oriented as they want the women to be, the men are not family oriented. They don't put their families first. They don't put their wives first. They don't put their children first. They put the church first.
It's always about the ministry.
They don't even put God first, because if they put true God, God first, then their family would come first.
God is an excuse to get their way.
Absolutely. And in their minds, God is telling them to do these other things first. And there's a lot of neglect going on in families. I am 100% convinced.
There's so much neglect and abuse.
My family suffered that the duration of my husband pastoring a church. There was neglect, and it happens all the time. Not just in families where the guy's the preacher.
It was us too. It was us too. I mean, and that's what we're healing from.
Well, just like your situation, there are lay people who are giving their all to the church or to a religious
ministry.
Even some of them just to the pastor, disgustingly, because they idolize the pastor, and they have to do all of this stuff, and they have to give all of this money to support the pastor. And I'm like, even sometimes I felt like that the people in our church were over giving, and I was concerned for them, because I was like, don't ask them for any more money for anything. And my husband was that way too. He was just like, don't ask them for, he was not a money grabber at all by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just embarrassing for these people to suffer. When we moved into this house, from dedicating my daughter at 8 months, to
in the living room.
Yeah, in the living room. To here, when we moved into this house less than a year ago, I feel like I got her back. And so I didn't know I needed so much help. I didn't know I was in a situation that I needed to get out of, really. I was brainwashed into thinking that this was my life, and I must really struggle with sin. Now that I know better, I don't struggle with sin.
No.
I have no trouble not committing sin.
Right.
Like, absolutely none. I do not sin. If you call running a red light or speeding or making a mistake a sin, I guess, yeah, we do sin in thought, word, and deed every day. Which, I mean, probably my thoughts would be
Not saying that we would ever
true, and I'm just like
sin intentionally. Like,
no.
just,
I mean, I'm talking about like I don't think there's very many sins that is talked about in the Bible, personally. I mean, I think they're pretty straightforward. Don't murder.
well, I mean, you have the 10 Commandments, which are an interesting thing in and of themselves. Yeah, we don't kill people and we don't take other people's things. And we're respectful, like, to our parents, which does not mean just blindly doing what they say all the time. And if they're bad people, you like respecting them is calling that out, or at least not allowing yourself to participate in their behavior. So there's that. But anyways, back to Frailty.
Yeah, no kidding. What we're supposed to do.
Back to Frailty. I just the whole movie is so psychological because of the religious aspect, to be honest.
Yeah.
The religious aspect is what
that
really makes it wacky.
Yeah.
Because it seems extreme in the movie that he's like murdering people who he has considered demons and they're evil. And even in the end, it, as the guy reveals himself as the son who is carrying on this mission, supposedly, and that it's good because the people who he has murdered, which apparently is a whole heck of a lot more than his brother, who is the demon who's killing people who aren't on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he has a whole freaking rose garden full of dead bodies or corpses. But it's okay because, I mean, he's the sheriff. Like,
yeah.
So, like, in a way, it's like he's a vigilante. He's God's vigilante.
Yeah. Especially when they're like singing the same song you sang in Sunday school.
And every excuse that father uttered, every explanation is the exact words told to us as children.
Yeah, absolutely.
As to why they were punishing us.
Yep.
That they didn't want to. That it hurt them more than us. That I have to do this for your good.
Yeah.
Even though it's like full on obvious abuse.
Yeah.
Like he locked his kid in a dark cellar that he made the kid dig himself.
Right. Yeah.
For over a week. Like,
and it is blind obedience. He wanted his child to blindly obey what he was saying and to trust and have faith in his dad that he was doing the right thing. Like, I know we have had like somebody question the whole Tyler Henry thing, like when we talk about Tyler Henry. And I think it's kind of funny because Tyler Henry doesn't give any dark, there is no dark. He's not trying to cover up abuse. He's not trying to, he's not misogynistic. He's not patriarchy. He's not, he's not damaging. He goes around and legitimately helps people. That's all I've ever seen of him, is that he is an encouragement. He's not a hindrance to anybody, and they're passed on whatever family members. He doesn't ever claim to get like these clear visions where someone's like standing in the room talking to him. And he actually has to try to translate to the people that he is seeing and then they're the only ones that can make sense of it, you know? And
Right.
so, like, he doesn't know if it makes sense or not.
No,
He tells them what he sees. But
Right.
I personally do not believe that, like with the movie Frailty, I don't believe people can actually do this. Okay, so I'm not saying I'm no scholar, I'm no professor, I'm not a prophet, you know. That's not what I'm saying, or a prophetess. But I would be more inclined to believe somebody like Tyler Henry than I would any of the preachers or people who said they could do what Frailty does in this movie. Basically, what this.
Oh no, yeah. If someone tells me that God's telling them to do things that are literally against his 10 commandments, they go against like
Yeah.
it's okay, but again, I'm sorry, but the Bible is so full of contradiction.
Yeah.
God's telling Abraham to murder his son. Yes, he backed out, but Abraham didn't know that was going to happen at the last second.
Right.
Then you have him like murdering entire people groups, like entire nations, women and children and babies.
Right.
But the Bible says don't murder, or the 10 Commandments say not to murder.
Mm-hmm.
So like is because
well, and it's not just him doing it. He is commanding people to do it,
to fulfill his command. Yeah.
Yeah. When the walls of Jericho fell down, they didn't leave anybody alive.
No.
No one was left alive except for Rahab and her family. That was it. There were babies there. There were children there. There were.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's multiple examples. There's multiple examples of God destroying entire nations using the Israelites to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he says, don't murder.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
And I mean, of course, it's the law of the land that you don't. So there's that. But
the law of which land?
I'm saying like the law of like us presently. It's like,
yeah.
But back then they had like safe cities. Can't remember what they're called.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sanctuary
cities, like
yeah. And
and that was
made it there in time. That kind of thing fascinates me, because it was just like, if it was an accident, or if they had, done something like defiled their sister and they were killing this person out of honor, the other family member of the person that got killed could come after them and legitimately kill them.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have like a justice system like we do. Like they didn't have a sheriff.
Yeah.
How do you teach kindness in this world so obsessed with violence? And like, I mean, they're literally turning it into this kind of reality. I mean, it seems like that's what they want. Like, it's very us versus them. It's like if you aren't like us, then you're a demon.
Mm-hmm. And that might be why this movie is so triggering, is because the world we come from is so.
That's literally how they view sinners.
Literally what they think. They believe that the devil's all over that house. If you're doing anything out of, I mean, even something as simple as wearing earrings and pants on a woman, then she must be full of the devil. And I literally have heard people say stuff like that, or makeup, or, I mean, anything like that.
If you're not following their external rules, whatever, if you don't align with them 100%, then you are lost and on your way to hell. Yeah. And I mean, considered to be a bad influence, and like they don't want their children around you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really messed up. I mean, and I've heard people literally say it like they're so afraid of anyone who doesn't believe like them, who doesn't live in this cult. And one of the things that I heard that just blew my mind, and this is when I was still part of the cult, but they were literally terrified to have a gay person in their home around their children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a big one. I remember.
Like, you think your kids are going to be gay because they met this person and
Right.
like shared a meal with them
Right.
and showed love and kindness to them? That's going to
Yeah.
somehow change what their preference
Well,
is.
and we
Like,
were raised to fear them. I was raised
yeah.
to fear them. Like they had a plague or something.
This movie, in my opinion, really, I know it's extreme, but it's not.
No.
It's not. In my mind, this is a totally feasible thing to be going on
Mm-hmm.
in that world.
Mm-hmm.
It would not shock me.
They take the law into their own hands, which is exactly.
Well, because they believe that God's law supersedes the law of the land.
Yeah. And it's for them to say, for them to say that you are a sinner or that you're not. I mean, that is the responsibility they put on pastors. And
that's the authority they give to them, yeah, and take.
Yeah. Oh, and they take it gladly.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our church world is such one that it's just such a magnet for people who, live for control and power.
Yeah. I got to the point when we were getting ready to move that I didn't pray, but I would just like hope that no more people came to our church, no new people who didn't know anything, because quite literally we chase people away. We don't.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only reason why people come and stay is because for at least a little while, we accept them and love them.
Well, we love bomb them until they either comply,
Yep.
and then they're able to keep their status, or they don't comply and we discard them, or we did.
And if they're sensitive enough to believe that if they leave and they fall out of the will of the Lord, will go straight to hell. If they're sensitive enough to believe it, then they're still there. But I had known a lot of people who did not grow up in the hyper-fundamentalist environment who came, and for a while they stayed. I mean, 10, 12 years they stayed. And then they finally realized, okay, something's not right here. And they got their kids out.
They experienced like church abuse.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of this movie, though,
yes,
I have to wrap up. But at the end of this movie, the biggest surprise was that the killer was the sheriff. And the FBI agent that he killed had a sin in his life.
Pretty big one.
Actually killed his mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
The FBI agent had killed his mother. And so he was rendering judgment.
Yeah.
FBI agent. The whole movie was just him confessing just to lure the FBI agent away.
Yeah, because he knew it would never get anywhere.
Yeah.
And he framed his demon brother for that murder.
For the murder, of the FBI agent.
Yeah.
That was another thing, like at the very end, did the demon brother even know he was coming?
I think he did.
Yeah. He
seemed to.
He called at the very beginning.
Yeah, there was that phone call.
There was that phone call, and he said it's time.
Well, I mean, honestly, that could have been like a full-on lie just to get that conversation started. Because he said at the end, he said that he couldn't kill him until God put him on his list. And so when he came into his home, the guy, like his brother, was like sitting there typing on the computer or whatever and just clacking away. And all of a sudden he went still and he was like, Adam?
Yes. Yeah.
He never even looked at him. He just knew.
He knew he was coming for him.
Yeah.
And so he was framed for, I knew that at the end that he was framed for the murder.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is ironic and like think about where he kept all the bodies of the people he killed.
Oh, in that basement.
In his basement,
Yes.
in his cellar,
Yeah.
which was where he was kept.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's like when he went into the cellar, that's when he died.
Mhm. It was.
I mean, that was a very psychotic break. And after that was when he was willing to kill his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was actually
Well,
right.
that's the
Like it was
vision that
like
he saw.
I
Yeah.
mean, like he was protecting someone. It was out of like a self-defense or defense,
Well,
like because he was trying
I
to
think he was trying to
stop his
protect his
dad.
brother.
And that was Adam's first murder.
Was his first kill. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's trying to protect his brother. He's trying to defend this guy who he's like, this guy's just a person. You don't have the right to,
Yeah.
you're not the law.
Yeah.
And so, and then he's just like, I'm going for dad because he's got it. He has felt this whole time that he needs to stop him.
Yeah. And has tried every other way.
And no one will believe him. Of course, no one believes
And
kids.
so what is he supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. And then,
Like, rock hard place.
of course, the one FBI agent, the only other one FBI agent that saw him come in, and he forgets him. He shook his
Cannot
hand,
remember that.
cannot remember his face. And then he's following the lead to try to find out who this guy is. And
Yeah.
he goes to that little sheriff's office, and lo and behold, the killer is the sheriff. It is just
Yeah, when he walks out and it's just like face to face with him, and this guy is the guy he can't remember.
Yeah.
And he looks full on at the sheriff, the guy that he literally, the night before or a few nights before, shook his hand and looked him in the face.
Yeah.
Or at least looked him in the face. He didn't shake his hand at that point. But then at the end, he looks him square in the face, does not recognize him, shakes his hand.
Yeah. It's just crazy. So if you haven't watched Frailty,
welcome back. We hope you enjoyed our real-time review of Frailty. It's a pretty crazy movie, still, to me. If you have any other movies that you'd like to recommend, or if you want to comment on this movie, if you've watched it, if you have thoughts about it, feel free to leave them in the comments. There is a lot to dissect there, and I know that we didn't even begin to scratch the surface. Even in the latest episode from I Hate James Dobson, like he talks about at the end this basically, cult leader, and I'm sorry, but it really like reminded me of that movie, the way that this whole thing is set up.
oh yeah, yeah.
We're gonna end it here for today. I know we've seen some comments start to come in, and we really appreciate those, so thank you.
Yes.
Feel free to keep commenting, ask us more questions if there's stuff that you want to hear us talk about. I know there was one suggestion in there that someone wanted to hear how we left the church. It's quite the story on both sides here, and
That might
we're
be
definitely both
worth.
we're in such different places. Our journeys have been so similar and different.
Yeah.
They're pretty crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not a story I never thought I'd be telling. And we hope you all have a great week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and of course here on YouTube. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
You've been listening on the party line to I'm on the Phone podcast with Sara and Christy. Join us again next week for more stories about our pre, post, and mid-culty life. Thanks for listening. Shout out to I Hate James Dobson podcast. We love you, and I listen to you religiously. Thanks, guys.